Our last trend on the periodic table is the atomic radius. So basically we're asking how big is it? But we're not talking about how big is it in terms of mass. We're talking about how big is it in terms of the radius, or the size from the nucleus to the outermost energy level. Okay? So the trend for atomic radius is really simple as you move down the periodic table, because again, as we move down the periodic table, we're getting more and more energy levels. So obviously as we move down the periodic table, our atomic radius is getting bigger. Okay, so our biggest element is going to be down here at francium. Moving across the periodic table is a little bit trickier. So if we just compare our period 2 elements, so if we look at lithium and we compare that to fluorine, okay, lithium has 3 electrons and 3 protons. So it's got 3 protons in its nucleus. Its first energy level is filled with 2 electrons, and its second energy level has 1 electron. And if I was to draw fluorine, fluorine has 9 protons in the nucleus. It will also fill its first energy level with 2 electrons, and its second energy level will have 7 electrons. So we can see that by comparing lithium and fluorine, we can't really say much about atomic radius in terms of energy levels, because they have the same number of energy levels. So now we say, okay, what happens to the radius as we move across? Well, as you notice, lithium has 3 protons, and so those protons are pulling these electrons towards the nucleus because opposites attract. So these electrons are being held to this nucleus by this attraction. Well, the pull of lithium is only as strong as 3 protons. As we move across the periodic table, we're adding more protons to the nucleus. So fluorine, with its 9 protons, is going to have a much greater pull on its electrons and its energy levels. It's going to hold that second energy level in closer and tighter, so that the atomic radius is actually smaller here in fluorine than it is in lithium, because the nucleus is more positive. So as we move across the periodic table, things are actually going to get smaller, because of the attraction of that positive nucleus will have a greater pull on the electrons, making the atomic radius less. So the trend for atomic radius is it gets smaller as you move across the periodic table, and it gets larger or increases as you move down the periodic table.